We don't know back here live in Altadena what is happening here, but it looks like some of the residents in this neighborhood who are returning home, they found an injured dog. So as people come back into Altadena and into the Palisades to try to figure out what's happening with their lives and their possessions, they're also finding, these types of things. There are a lot of injured animals, and the number of missing is also still out there. People have had a hard time communicating. A lot of folks have not been able to reach their neighbors or their friends, or they're piecing it all together. Cell service has been spotty. So, we're going to try to find out what happened with this little dog. But, it's everyone's trying to help out. We're seeing people walk through these communities and just walk over this way. You can see other folks just kind of coming home and figuring out, okay, is there anything salvageable here? But at least just in this slice here, Jake, it's not looking very optimistic.
No, it is just heartbreaking. Karen Law, thank you so much. Let's go now to CNN's Anderson Cooper, who's near Topanga, where the Palisades fire has been raging. And Anderson, tell us what you've been witnessing today.
Yeah, so Jake, we're on the northern edge of the Palisades fire. You can hear helicopters wing water in some cases. In other cases, they're just trying to assess exactly where the fire is. This one's actually looks like that's a Chinook that maybe may have dropped some water. As I said, this is the northern edge of the Palisades fire, and what firefighters are doing here, this is in Topanga. There's a residential community, just over the ridge of this hill that we're on. There is a fire that is now moving up this side of the hill. It's just kind of dulled down. It was much more active about 2 or 3 minutes ago. That big tree up there looked like it might burn. There's also another part of this fire which you can't now see. It is burned down temporarily, but we have been watching it steadily move up this hillside. So there's kind of 2 areas of this fire just in this small area of Topanga, but this is just a tiny piece. And look, if you look up here, that's one of the helicopters which has been dropping water, which is really it's an amazing thing to see, the fact that the winds have died down enough that they're able to do that. You also, when you drive out on the Pacific Coast Highway, you see airplanes scooping up water from the sea to come. So there are a lot of aerial assets now in play. But what firefighters are doing here is the dirty, dull, incredibly hard, but incredibly important work of essentially building a line, building a defensive line all around the Palisades fire. So right now in this area, there are bulldozers. You can maybe hear them a little bit in the distance. There's bulldozers all over this area. They've already cleared this little road that we're on. This is something that bulldozers have cleared just to get any debris out of the way. So they're essentially trying to build roads like this, or even connect a new dirt road that they make with the bulldozer to an existing road, and build a line around the fire to prevent it from jumping over, to prevent it from moving forward, to protect that community. The question is, do the winds change? Do the winds pick up? A slight change of winds, it can obviously, as you know, jump the line, and ember can go miles and start another fire somewhere. But there are a lot of crews here. There's a lot of heavy equipment here, and they were working very, very hard in difficult conditions to essentially isolate this fire as much as possible, Jake.
All right, Anderson Cooper, thank you so much. Joining us now, Los Angeles County Fire Chief Anthony Maroney. Chief Maroney, high-end red flag warnings, also known as very high fire danger conditions, are expected to return right about now or in the next hour. What specific fire or neighborhood is your biggest concern heading into this right now?
Well, Jake, thanks for having me on. But right now, I believe that the Palisades fire burning in Los Angeles County is our #1 priority. As you stated earlier, we have more than one fire burning. We also have the Eaton fire, a very destructive fire on the east end of Los Angeles County that started just hours after the Palisade fire on Tuesday, when those horrific winds arrived here in Los Angeles.
Given the awful fire conditions, not to mention the wind forecast, I think a lot of our viewers, especially a lot of Los Angeles citizens, are wondering, how is this going to end? What city, state, federal resources do you need to stop this, and are you not getting them?
No, we absolutely are getting them. I met with President Biden yesterday. I also met with Governor Newsom. We've had nothing but support from the federal and the state governments. Locally, our 29 fire departments that operate in Los Angeles County, we've come together to render aid not only to the Palisades Fire, but also the Eaton Fire, the Hearst Fire, the Lilac Fire, and the Sunset Fire. We've had 5 major fires in the last 2 days, and it's unprecedented. I was born in Los Angeles. I've grown up here. I've been in the fire service for 40 years, and this is some of the worst conditions I have ever experienced.
There's a real question about the water that's needed to put out these fires. The Los Angeles City Department of Water and Power says about 20% of the fire hydrants used to fight the Palisades fire went dry on Wednesday. We know that the problem was not a lack of water. It was the huge demand all at once. Essentially, the water system could not keep up with demand. How was this not a known issue, and why were other backup resources not more readily available?
Yeah, you know, the water issue that the city of Los Angeles experienced in the Palisades has been discussed at the last several news conferences. I represent the county of Los Angeles, not the city of Los Angeles. The fire has moved into the county at the Palisades fire, and fortunately, the LA County Fire Department did not experience the same issues with the fire hydrants that the Los Angeles City Fire Department experienced in the beginning of the Palisades fire off of Palisades Drive. But, you know, your viewers must understand there's a finite amount of water, and the water system really isn't designed for a large-scale, ongoing firefight like the one that we just experienced here in Los Angeles County.
The Los Angeles City Fire Chief says that arson investigators are actively looking into the start of the Palisades fire. Do you suspect that arson is to blame, at least partly, for this devastation?
You know, I really don't want to speculate on the cause of these 5 major incidents, especially when the wind is so incredibly strong. You know, a cigarette out the window of a car, any other ignition source could have started the Palisades fire. I'd rather wait than speculate to find out what the cause was. But I know that Chief Crowley and her team at the LA City Fire Department are going to get to the bottom of it.
Los Angeles County Fire Chief Anthony Maroney, thanks so much. This is an enormous tragedy. So many families need to find new homes. So many families will need to rebuild their lives. CNN is compiling a list of vetted resources that you can look at if you have the means where you can help. It's called Impact Your World. To find that, you go to cnn.com/impact, cnn.com/impact. To donate, you can also text wildfires to this number, 707070 or 707070.